A gut check weekend has the Ducks still alive and well in the race for the regular season conference crown. It's access denied for Modem and the Cougars at Matt Knight in a clutch performance by Oregon. The Beavers were MIA on Thursday against the Cougs and face a near must-win against the Dogs. In SoCal, the Bruins season continued on its course, as Cal's did also. In Tucson, the Utes hung tough against the Cats and made life interesting in the old Pueblo. In Seattle, Scott Rueck's Beavers came up big in the second half against the Dogs, and the Ducks try to make it a wazoo sweep, taking on the Cougs in the Palouse. It's not yet March, but the madness is already here. 30 minutes of Inside the Pack rolls right now.
We knew what we wanted to get into. We knew what we, down the stretch, where we wanted to go, and I just thought we made a lot better plays in the second half.
The Ducks take 2 from the Washington schools and in the process stay in the hunt for the Pac-12's regular season crown. Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside the Pack. Tom Ward here with you for the next 30 minutes, joined as always by Nick Krupke. And Nick, important games for Oregon over this weekend. The conference race is such that you've got to sweep at home when you've got 2 teams coming into your building. You just can't afford to give up any ground. And then you got to go on the road and get a split and take care of business that way as well.
Yeah, no question about it. You look at this point in time of the season where in the Pac-12, watered down, whatever you want to call it, probably only going to get 2 teams into that big dance, being the conference champion for the regular season and in the tournament. So the Ducks still right in the thick of things there. And if anything else, if you don't get the regular season title, you finish in the top half here, you get that first round bye when the Staples Center comes to call in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah, Oregon with a great performance on Thursday night, and then on Saturday against Washington State, only 2 turnovers in the second half, and Oregon really excelling at doing the fundamentally sound little things on the court.
They're really starting to become that team element, these guys knowing that they don't have to necessarily score to be very vital in what these guys are doing. You got DeVoe, you got EJ, and you got Garrett that are taking care of that scoring load. The other guys, the big guys, taking care of those small things you talked about. We'll look at that a little deeper, but the little tiny integral things that Dana certainly likes to see and keeps those guys on the floor.
And then in Corvallis, the Beavers on Sunday night go toe-to-toe with the Huskies, play a really good game. We've talked on this show about the Beavers needing their big 3. Burton, Brandt, and Collier to come up big in order for them to do well against good teams. They got 2 of those guys.
Yeah.
Burton was 8 minutes and no points, but they were right there with Washington.
And coming into the year, we talked about their big 2 for scoring-wise.
Yeah.
Jared there, again, he got beat up a little bit, 23 points to lead him. But look at Roberto Nelson, 0 for 6, 0 for 4 from distance. He's a guy they really were counting on to be their second go-to guy. Every really good team has 2 guys that can do it. Roberto right now is kind of in a funk and certainly should it against the Huskies.
Yeah, and they held Washington to 34% field goal shooting in this game. So it wasn't for lack of effort. We'll hear from the Beavers as this show goes along. But Thursday night, the Ducks blew out the conference's top dogs and hottest team in defeating the Huskies 82-57. That win kept Oregon in the hunt for the Pac-12 regular season title with 6 games left on the schedule. Could Garrett Sim replicate his start from Thursday night when he scored the first 8 points? And how would the Ducks contain Brock Modem? But prior to tip-off, a tribute to the late, great Admiral John Dick, the last of the original Tall Furs who died last year. Dana Alton presenting a ceremonial basketball to his family. Early on in the first, Modem dialed in. The spin move is good. Cougars up 2. Ducks answer. Olu Ashalu. Hoop and the harm underneath, only 5 points for Olu, but that was big early. Then E.J. Singler started to warm it up. Hits 1 3, that ties up the game. Moments later, E.J. from the top, that's all net. But wait, there's more. Coffin corner, Singler again. Oregon down just 3. Just before the half, the Ducks take the lead. Open line for Garrett Sim. He dials in and connects. Ducks up 36-33 at the break. Second half, Cougs tie it up. Mike Ladd gets free for the emphatic slam. 13 points off the bench for Ladd. It's tied at 50. This one stayed tight into the final minutes, but Oregon trying to put it away. DeVoe Joseph toes up the 3 and hits it. Ducks by 6, 64-58 after a Devontae Lacey 3 for Wazoo. Here comes EJ again, cold-blooded 3. His 4th of the game at 67-62. And then EJ, well, he can dish as well, and he finds his buddy Sim spotted up all alone. You know he's going to knock that one down. Sim's 4th triple of the game, 16 points for the kid from Sunset. Ducks up 4. And Carlos Emery delivers the dagger, beats the shot clock buzzer with the clutch putback 2 inside. Emery with 12 off the bench Ducks shot 55% from the field and get the home sweep, 78-69. The win keeps them just a game out of first as they head down to the Bay Area. Singler led the way with 23. Sim and Joseph both with 16. Oregon 11-2 now in games decided by 10 points or less.
And their 11 made three-pointers, a season high, connecting on 11 of 20. Singler just needs 13 more points to become the 31st Duck to reach the 1,000-point mark in his career. We saw 13 ties, 9 lead changes. Coach Altman said afterward, it's fun this time of year, of course, to still be in the hunt. With 18 wins and 5 games to play before the conference tournament, the Ducks could very well be marching into the madness of the big dance. That is, if they got to keep it up, though. The Bigs didn't give them much in the way of offense against the Cougars, but it took some more of the fundamental elements of the game there. The box out. Jacob, Ashalou, Woods, and Naird combined just 11 points with 6 boards. But when you get guard play like the Ducks did, you don't need a whole lot of offense in the way from the big guys. Just clearing out the lane. A lot of good stuff there. And a real even stat lines all around. 25 boards apiece, 50% shooting or better for both sides. About equal for points in the paint. Second chance opportunities with those box outs helping too. And the turnovers again, the Ducks only 2 in that second half after 9. But you get the veteran guard play like you get. Some guys showing no fear to shoot that ball, and it's going good for Singler and Sim. And Joseph, to me, that's the big difference. Those 3 guys, 55 points, 10 of the 11 made three-pointers from that triumvirate of guard play. But for me, DeVoe Joseph, the transfer, he's been there in Minnesota. He's seen kind of what it takes down the stretch, and he's the guy, to me, that's going to lead the Ducks somewhere here if they're going to figure it out in the next couple of weeks and really keep putting the pressure on everybody else.
There's no question that DeVoe Joseph has a maturity level on the court that's maybe a little bit beyond some of his teammates. But when you look at those highlights that we just showed with the breakdown there, that block out where the ball hits in the paint and 3 Ducks are blocking it out, that's a coach's dream.
Use
right
your
there.
body, man.
And as you mentioned, this was a tight game between Washington State and Oregon. It was nip and tuck the whole way. Any coach will tell you it's going to come down to who does the fundamentally sound things that in the crunch time and over the course of the game that's going to get you that 4, 6, 9-point win.
And you got to believe Dan Altman, he's a perfectionist kind of a coach, wasn't always the happiest after the game, but things like that, yeah, he likes to see more of that too.
Well, never wanting to be swept on your home court, Craig Robinson said the Beavers were playing for their lives after rolling out a less than stellar effort Thursday against Washington State at Gill. The Huskies seeing red from their 25-point smackdown by the Ducks on Thursday. And we go to the first half, and the Beavers, well, they came out playing with energy as Jared Cunningham doing what Jared Cunningham knows how to do. Throws it down on the baseline cut. A little later, it's Ahmad Starks. Hits the jumper. Sparks a 6-0 run. Beavers go up 16-13, but the Dogs were sticking around. Aziz Njai slams it home with authority. Washington up by 1. The Beaver big men getting involved as well, especially Devon Collier. Stuffs Tony Roten. Then at the other end, doing work on the post, Collier finished with 16, 20-19. O State up 1, still in the first half. Portland native Terrence Ross with the alley-oop. Game tied at 31, heading to the locker room. Team high 21 for Ross. Second half, Beavers fell behind by 5, but Cunningham on the nice reverse led all scorers with 23. OSU down 51-48. Later, Angus Brandt, big second half, knocks down the jumper on the baseline. Brandt finished with 12, 10 of those coming in the second half, but Abdul Gaddy responds with a big 3 that rattles the cage and stays home. UW up 61-58. Beavers trail by 5 with 22 ticks to play. Starks drains a clutch 3. Lights up Gill. OSU shot 41% from the field, cuts the lead to 2, but the Huskies hit their free throws. Cunningham trying to make it a 1-point game, but that is off the mark, and it's a sweep for the Washington Schools in Corvallis. 75-72 Huskies, as the Beavers have dropped 3 of their last 4. Washington got 24 points off their bench, 17 of those from Wilcox.
Yeah, Cunningham led the Beavers again, 23, 16 points for Collier, but just 1 point for Roberto Nelson. Joe Burton again held scoreless in 8 minutes, and after taking a few knocks for maybe being soft, the Huskies played one of the more physical games of the season against the Beavs. It was clear from the game plan right from the jump there. Jared Cunningham, no easy buckets. Flight never able to take off. Instead, he was grounded several times thanks to some hard fouls on his way to the hoop. Cunningham has been seen holding his back in the game, took a shot to the head, and he was going for some loose balls there, and he returned to the game, but Washington's physical play took its toll on the Beavers, who have one less day now to prepare for Stanford, which will be Thursday. The Huskies' deep bench outscored the Beavs again, 24-7. Of course, that paid dividends down the stretch where it really made the difference for the Huskies.
Well, taking a closer look at the Beavers' big man, as we were talking about the big 3 earlier, Joe Burton, Angus Brandt have been MIA recently. Brandt showed up tonight, but during the first 5 games of the conference season, Burton and Brandt were both averaging double digits in scoring, but during the past 5 games, coming into the Washington game, they were both scoring just around 6 points a contest. Together, that's a drop-off of roughly 12 points per game. And when you can get all 3 of your bigs, those guys are all talented, all capable, you have a shot against a team like Washington. They only got 2 of them on Sunday night and didn't quite get it done. You talk about Jared Cunningham. You're concerned when you see a guy holding his head, blinking his eyes after a couple of shots he took to the head.
No question about it. We talk about their length and their athleticism that they have. We've got to see that this weekend with Stanford and with Cal, because this is a big road trip, your final road trip before you come back home. Civil War, Utah and Colorado roll in before you try to make some type of noise at the Staples Center.
Well, following the gutsy home victory over the Cougars, Oregon remained a game back of first place Cal and Washington in the standings, with the Berkeley Bears looming on Thursday. Still to come on ITP. Oregon's best game of the year was certainly hard to top, but the Ducks did what it took on Saturday to get the W.
Thursday night, and I was pleased that we found a way to win. I just know that defensively and on the boards we got to play a lot better, so that takes away a little of your, your enthusiasm, because you could have played better.
Plus, the Bears were trying to stay atop the conference standings with a win over UCLA, and they made it a long day for the Bruins. And as always, lots more Beavers, Ducks, and the rest of the Pac-12 online all the time at our website, InsideThePac.com. We'll be back. The Oregon women saw their comeback attempt in Seattle Thursday night go down in the final minutes as the Dogs held off the Ducks for a 3-point victory. Oregon was looking for its 14th win overall and 6th conference victory of the season Saturday at Washington State. And the Cougars had a 9-point halftime lead in this one. So second half, more Cougs. Jasmine Perkins with the rip and the reward at the other end. Cougars with all 5 starters in double figures. Later, Rosetta Adzasu, she hits the triple, but Amanda Johnson was the clutch player down the stretch as she had 23, and the Ducks actually win 67-62. AJ finished up 5 of 6 from the line as Oregon put it away late. Ariel Thomas with 13, Jasmine Holiday with 12.
After being ice cold in the first half, just 28% shooting. The Ducks heated up in the second, 46%. 10 Oregon threes for them from Amanda, who scored 18 in that second half.
If Dana Altman is a strong candidate for Conference Coach of the Year in the men's game, then Scott Rueck should be the leader in the clubhouse for the women. Rueck's Beavers in Seattle. We go to Heck Ed Pavilion. And Patricia Bright having her way at Heck Ed on Saturday. Gets free underneath the bucket and the foul. Bright with 12. Moments later, it's Alyssa Martin in the corner for 3. She's spotted up, and she's pretty good from there. She had 13. Alicia Marchbanks was one of 5 Beavs in double figures. Off the steal, she lays it in. A double-double for Marchbanks, 15 and 11 boards. Beavers have now won 6 in a row. 78-73 the final. Oregon State's 6th consecutive win puts them 3rd in the league with 17 victories on the season. I seem to remember somebody talking up the Beavers in the preseason show. I don't know. Molly Schwegler out of Rainier posted a career high with 15 points.
Yeah, the 6 straight wins for Oregon State, the longest for the program since winning 7 in a row from 93 to 94, but Stanford comes a knocking on Thursday.
All of his 15 points in the second half.
The Buffs led by as many as 19. They go to Utah Saturday.
The stats were pretty even across the board. In fact, the rebounds were the same, with the Ducks and the Cougars both getting 25, but Oregon shot the ball extremely well, especially from the free throw line, 83%. With more on how the Ducks beat the Cougs, here's Turk Weishar.
In a tightly contested game throughout, it was sharing the ball and taking care of the ball. Those were the keys to victory for Oregon against Washington State. 16 assists on 26 field goals made and just 2 turnovers in the second half.
It was a game that we won on the offensive end. We shot the ball really well, 11 for 20, 15 of 18 from the line. So very pleased at times with the way we moved the ball offensively in the second half. We did a much better job of handling the ball.
I thought we shared the ball overall this whole weekend really well, and it showed that we scored a lot better and got a lot better shots, and if that happens, they go in.
We need every win we can get coming down the stretch here, so the 2 wins at home is very important.
So the Ducks get the home sweep of the Washington schools. Head coach Dana Altman put Saturday's win over the Cougars in perspective, saying this keeps us in the hunt for the Pac-12 regular season championship. Next, the Ducks head out on the road to the Bay Area and will face Cal on Thursday. Reporting from Matthew Knight Arena, I'm Dirk Weishar, for Inside the Pack.
Dirk, thanks. The Beavers' big game with Washington caps off a disappointing weekend for OSU, which featured two distinctly different ways to lose. Still to come on ITP, Craig Robinson was looking for 40 minutes from his guys, and against the Dogs, he got it, but it still wasn't enough.
We've kind of been fighting and, bounce back from Thursday where we didn't play well at all and then come out and play a really good game against a really good team. And, just for really just short is, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Head coach Craig Robinson doesn't like to celebrate good efforts, and particularly in a loss, but he was pleased with the way OSU responded to its defeat Thursday at the hands of the Cougars. However, it was close but no cigar for the Beavs against Washington on Sunday as they were swept at home for the first time this season.
Their effort was terrific, but it was just disappointing that we didn't make enough plays to win that game. You can't miss as many foul shots and you can't have as many second half turnovers as we have to beat a good team like that, a really good team.
They're very deep and they come in, they rebound, they have shooters, so we got to try to match that. They're a tough team.
We've kind of been fighting and, bounce back from Thursday where we didn't play well at all and then come out and play a really good game against a really good team. And, just for really just short is, it's kind of heartbreaking. But, I think all the guys got their heads up and, can walk away proud of the effort they put in tonight.
Well, as the Ducks and Beavers are set to make their final conference road trips outside the state, we roll out the red carpet for our version of the Grammys. It's Court Kings.
Sure. I'll start us off here with the Oregon State women. Queens of the court. 6 straight wins, the most for the program since 1994. 17 victories overall, 8 of the conference, 3rd in the league.
My Court King goes to the guy who could use a crown to hold his hair back. EJ Singler leading the Ducks again, 8 of 12 shooting, 4 of 6 from downtown, 23 points, 6 rebounds for EJ against the Cougs.
Finally, going to go with one of the guys the Ducks have to work on Thursday. Cal's got a lot of them. Alan Crabb would be one of them, one of the Golden Bears, one of 4 double figures. He had 14 against UCLA. California's good. We saw him come through town already once before. The Beavers got him at Gill Coliseum. They certainly seem to be maybe the cream of the crop in the Pac-12, but a lot of basketball to go.
Yeah, Thursday night, Oregon at Cal. This figures to be a good matchup. Cal did beat Oregon at Matthew Knight Arena earlier this year. Alan Crabb went off.
Yeah, and they've got all those shooters in the Ernie Kent line we used to like to go to all the time. What's the difference?
Seniors.
Oregon's got the veteran guards too, and DeVoe again, and Garrett and EJ. Those guys very hungry to get something done here with this program. So a vital game for them if they want to stay in this mix.
Yeah, and Oregon State now, Stanford looked really bad against USC. You'd like to think that the Beavers, if they execute, can go down there and get it win. Well, thanks for watching Inside the Pack this week. We'll have it all for you next week as the men go to the Bay Area. So long.